Okay, now let's continue with the example on the definite integral, but this one is a trigo function. So if you are given this question, you have the limit from 0 to pi over by 3, okay, and you are given sine theta plus by sine theta tangent squared theta over by secant squared theta. Alright, so with respect to theta, they asked to integrate with respect to theta. So first thing first, what you can do is that from this question, you cannot simply integrate straight away. So you have to do something about it. So try to think, is there anything that you can actually simplify? So that's the question. So on the numerator part, if you can see, alright, there are two terms, and that two terms, there are common terms. The common term is the sine theta. So let's try to factorize your sine theta. So if you factor out your sine theta, you're going to leave with 1 plus by tangent square theta over by secant square theta. Now, for now, you don't do anything yet. But if you look at your numerator, you have a simplified sine theta, but in the bracket, you have 1 plus tangent squared theta. Is there any properties of your trigo function that you can simplify this? Question mark. So let's look at your formula list. If you have your formula list over here, you can see at this particular part, this is a Pythagorean identities for your trigo function. So what we have just now is 1 plus tangent squared theta, which is actually the same as this. Okay, so you have tangent square theta plus by 1 is equivalent to secant square theta. So this one. Alright, so you can say that your function just now is equivalent to secant square theta. Substitute this, alright, this one. It will be equivalent to sine theta multiplied by secant square theta, which is this is the one that in the formula. Alright, over by secant square theta d theta. I forgot to put the limit. Now the limit is still there. We haven't done anything yet, so it's still 0 until pi over by 3. Okay, then I think from here you can see that you can simplify your secant square theta. Alright, if you simplify this, so what's left is just you're gonna you will get this one will be integrate of 0 until pi over by 3 for sine theta d theta. If you refer to your formula list, which is integrate sine theta will give you negative cosine theta. So add this negative cosine theta in between 0 to pi over by 3. Again, using your definite integral formula, you have to substitute your upper boundary first. So negative cosine pi over by 3 in a big bracket minus by another bracket negative cosine 0. So if you simplify this, for cosine pi over by 3, basically is cosine 60 equivalent to half. Minus and minus again will be giving you plus. Cosine 0 will give you 1. So negative half plus by 1 will give your answer as such half. Okay. Let's look at the last part of the example, which is example E. Okay, you are given a trigo function. Now this trigo function already factor out your sine theta. Okay, you are given like sine theta multiplied by this whole thing. Now try to look in your formula list. Is there any trig identities that you can actually simplify this? So in the formula list, you can see again it will be at your Pythagorean identities over here, which is they say that your sine square theta plus by cosine square theta will be equivalent to 1. So you can substitute into the question, which is this one will give you 1. So what you can have, you just differentiate 0 until pi over by 3 sine theta multiplied by 1 d theta. Oops, I missed out the theta. So sine theta multiplied by 1 d theta, which is basically you're integrating your sine theta only. So again, integrate sine theta. Your sine theta is equivalent to negative cosine theta. So substitute that, you're gonna have negative cosine theta, so between 0 to pi over by 3. Now again, you just simply substitute your boundaries, which is upper boundary minus by lower boundary. So cosine pi over by 3 minus by inner bracket negative cosine 0. So cosine pi over by 3 is basically cosine 60 degrees, will give you half. Okay, minus and minus will give you plus. Cosine 0 will give you 1. So if you add the two terms, you're going to have equivalent to half. Okay, so that is your final answer. Alright.